Hello and happy Friday, everyone. I'm going to see if I can actually get all of this done in the right order this time. I just muted my other desktop where I like to have a live what is happening on YouTube itself. So no echo to start like I typically do. And I've got my guests waiting in the green room right now. I'm going to bring them up in just a minute. So real quickly, what I like to do at first is just go over some stats regarding where featured channels and member channels are sitting in regard to number of subscribers. I'm a very numbers-driven person and very motivated by numbers. I think the numbers tell a story. Some people don't know how to read them, and I'm not going to say I'm good at reading them, but they're very motivating to me. So I'm going to share some numbers here in a minute. Hi, Tiffany. I see Tiffany is here. I've made some greetings in the chat already, so I don't think I've missed anyone coming in yet since we're just getting started. And did y'all see the video? Did it work this time when I started the little video before I came on the screen? Last week I tried to play the one of it raining here because I was so excited and I wanted to share that we had some rain here. We did get rain here also 2 nights ago. It wasn't last night that it rained. It rained here 2 nights ago. Like good rain, a thunderstorm. Didn't last very long, but we'll take every drop that we can get. Okay, so I won't worry. It was just the little 15-second video that I had for my little reminder on YouTube today. That's what I had showing. So I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull this up. And we'll look at numbers right quick, and then we're going to bring Devin and Ryan up. So let me get back to my share screen. Right, I want to be sure everyone can hear me. Obviously, you can hear me because Tiffany is responding to me saying that we got rain. Hey, Matt, how are you? All right, so looking at, let me make this bigger. That's as big as I can get it, so I hope you guys can see it. Hi, AR Guns. Hi, Andale. We'll talk. I've got these just in the order, sort of in the order of when I featured a channel on the show and or when they became a channel member. So that's why you don't see things alphabetized, but hopefully you can sort of see the nice progression of growth the way I have it laid out here on this spreadsheet. So step by step, Family Hannah was my first guest on the show. And when we met with her the day she was on the show, she had 316 subscribers. As of about 45 minutes ago, I waited to get my number since I wasn't going to do the little screenshots this time. As of about 45 minutes ago, she is at 404 subscribers. Really have some dreams for her to, let's see. Let me look, Jesse. No, I'm using the camera that's just on my computer. And I don't even know where I would go to change the settings. Oh, here's the settings here. Camera. Integrated webcam. Oh, let's see. I do have some. The full high definition isn't an option, but I'm changing it to high definition to see if that helps. So when I come back on, you can let me know if it looks like it's a little bit better. And then before the next live stream, I'll play with it and see if I can figure out why I don't have that full high definition option available. All right, so back to Hannah. Sitting at 404 subscribers as of today. I'd love to get her closer to that 500. I can assure you guys she will be using her community tab for a lot of good and to show even more support to the channels that she is connected to. So we're going to move over to now Runneth Over Garden and Life, our first channel members. When they joined the channel, they had 611 subscribers. As of today, they have 637. So we're going the right direction there. As always, if you haven't visited these channels yet, please take a few minutes to go check out their content, pick a video or two to watch. If you like what you see, subscribe. I really don't try to encourage people to subscribe just for the heck of it, because if you're not going to watch their videos, it just hurts them in the long run. But these channels all have something to offer all of us. So just please give them a little bit of love and show them some support by checking out their channels and helping them grow their YouTube families. Next up is Woman Outdoors. When she joined the channel, she was at 793 subscribers. She is at 882 today. So that 1,000 is right around the corner for her. Lots of good stuff on her channel. I know a lot of you are already connected with her, but other ways that you can help, again, if you have a community tab, just put up a link for a recent video, even just something that, maybe your followers haven't seen yet, just to help introduce her to them. I mean, this is the same for all the channels. Pick a video that you enjoy, share it on your community tab, or if you have a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and you can share a video, that's a great way to help network some of these awesome content creators that are our friends. Ordered Steps. When she joined the channel, she was at 182. She's at 188 now. Again, we're going in the right direction. So check out her channel and show her some support and love as well. Hi, Sweet Pea Sid. How are you? Great Farmer Freelance. One of the top of the list channel supporters and just people lovers out there. He was sitting at 820 subscribers when he became a channel member for us. He's at 847 today. I think his morning coffee shop was closed again today, but we're hoping to have him back online and able to spend time with us tomorrow morning. So if you're not checking out his virtual coffee shop every morning at 8:30 Central Time, he just opens for a couple of hours, does a live stream. People can come and meet and mingle and share and connect and, start the day off on a positive note. Mind Fork, she was my guest on the show last week. When she became a channel member, she was sitting at 190 subscribers. She is at 206 today. Again, I like seeing these numbers going in the right direction. So that's the goal. I'm not, again, claiming credit for it, but each time one or more of us can at least put someone's channel name out there, it gives them an opportunity to meet new viewers and grow their channels. Multi-Hunter on the show a couple of weeks ago. On that day, he was at 352 subscribers. He did the little seesaw thing for a while that I know a lot of you are familiar with, which is, again, why I just encourage you to subscribe if you know you're going to watch some content so that YouTube doesn't eventually take your subscription away. And be sure you watch the video, that's at least 3 minutes long before you subscribe, so they know you're a real person and that you at least are interested in their content. So Multi-Hunter was at 352 when we interviewed him. He's at 421 today. So thank goodness we did finally get over that 400 mark and stayed there. But 500 is right around the corner for him too. And he will do a lot of good too with his community tab once he gets it. Mud and Mascara, Tiffany on the show, looks like on August 5th. She was at 98 subscribers on that day. She's at 131 today. So that's exciting to see a nice little steep slope going for her in the right direction. A lot of practical, useful information, a lot of wisdom, and she just has a very calming, it's funny, it's a very kind of authoritative but calming. So I find her very motherly. I'm older than she is, but I find her very motherly, and I feel like if you watch her videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So check her channel out. And she's had a lot of rain, so I've enjoyed watching stuff from her garden because we don't have a whole lot that's green here right now. So check out Tiffany at Mud and Mascara Homestead, and let's help her continue to stay on that upward trajectory. 12 Stones Ranch became a channel member on August 5th. Byron and Akashi. So Byron from 12 Stones Ranch and Akashi from Mind Fork are my two YouTube friends that have actually been here to Rich Cat Ranch to spend time with us and share a meal and meet the animals. And I realized I think it was last week's live stream maybe, because I was showing something that had the dogs in it. I may be remembering the wrong date. And I noticed afterward that Byron had put a comment when Serena came up on the screen. he put some kind of a comment about she's the actual boss here because he met her and she's the actual boss here, or at least she thinks she is. She's just our old crotchety girl that kind of takes her job too seriously as far as sounding alarms when there's new people in the house. And so she's sweet enough, and she's certainly sweet with us, but she just, again, she's got aches and pains, and she doesn't like shenanigans out of the younger dogs, and so she's kind of crotchety. But 12 Stones Ranch, he was at 240 subscribers when he joined the channel on August 5th. He is at 247 today. So again, he's on the right track. A couple of videos ago, if you guys have not checked out his response video to another channel, YouTube channel's video, I think it's hilarious. So a lot of humor there, but he also shares a lot of practical information and did some pretty impressive power mowing in his most recent video. So you'll have to check that out to understand what I'm talking about. And then today we have Devin and Ryan from Our New Land on our channel. And all I know is that I met them in someone else's live stream. So when I go in someone else's live stream and I come across a name, a channel name or a chatter that is unfamiliar to me, automatically I go and at least check out their channel, because I'm, just like I'm looking to add to my own family. That's how you do it, is people see your name out there and meet you virtually somewhere online, and you can grow your channel that way. So went to their channel, checked out a couple of videos, and I'll just be honest. So right away, the thing that won me over was Devin's voice. Now, I had not heard Ryan. The first video I watched was just Devin talking. And I thought, okay, I don't want to just watch this over and over and over. So now I have to watch more videos. So Ryan has an equally nice voice, but Devin won me over just because I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. He just has a very radio kind of voice, and it's very soothing, and the cadence is nice. And so whatever it is they're talking about picking out, toilet stuff for their bathhouse even. It just sounds so much more pleasant because of their voices. So check out their channel. That's not the only reason. They just have, I think, an amazing, amazing, uplifting, wow kind of a story about how they met, which may sound funny if you know already that they're brothers, but they didn't know they were brothers for a long time. So check out their channel. I'll see if I can get them to do a little Cliff Notes version of that when we get them here on the screen. But those are the updates I have for the channels that we have featured on the show, or that have become even more close-knit family members by joining our channel. So I'm going to stop my share screen now. I am going to bring both of these guys up, and let me know in the chat if they are new to you. If you have not met Ryan and Devin yet, put a little blurb in the chat to say, oh yeah, they're new to me. I think the names I'm seeing, you guys probably already know them. But even if you already know them, I just want to encourage you, when you connect with a channel, make sure that you periodically still go back and watch their content and comment on their videos, because YouTube looks for that kind of stuff to help determine who they're going to promote. And when you log into your YouTube for the first time and you've got the recommendations on that page, part of the way they decide how they're going to put whatever they're going to put there is that they've seen what you've been watching. So if you like a certain kind of videos, they're going to recommend other channels even that have those same kind of videos. But if you also spend time at particular channels, they'll show you that channel stuff, and it'll help you keep up with new content on their channels and what's happening in their world. So welcome, Ryan. Welcome, Devin. I'm going to let y'all talk. I want everyone to hear you talk. You guys duke it out on who's going to talk first.
Go for it, Ryan. I usually drive the show.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Devin does have the nicer voice for sure.
Oh, they're both nice, but just Devin was my first, so I just instantly just fell in love with that voice because it was the first one I heard. So tell us where you guys are. like geographically, you are?
Go for it, Ryan.
Yeah, so we're both in DFW. So I'm in Dallas, and our property is in southern Oklahoma. Devin's
So you
north
guys
of
are
Dallas.
we're gonna have to get together then, because I'm on a mission now that any of my YouTube friends that live close enough that we can get together, I wanna meet you live and in person. And our place just seems to be a fun place because people come and get to feed the ducks and feed the horses, and it's not something they get to do every day. So at least when they come, it seems like they're having a fun time. And of course the animals love it, because if they get fed, then everybody's happy. So I'll be messaging y'all. We'll see if we can get something set up, or we can meet out someplace and have some supper.
That'd be great.
And are you originally from this area?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So, we do have a bit of a unique story, but I lived in Beaumont until our parents split up, and then I moved to a small town south of Fort Worth, and I went to school at North Texas, University of North Texas, which is kind of like what led me to Dallas. And obviously, Devin's is different, even though full brother.
Yeah, I grew up in Austin, and then moved to Dallas, and then moved out of state, and finally came back to Texas, and now this is where I am.
So I finally watched I consider there's a little 3-pack of your reunion, or reunion is not the word I want. What's the word I want here? When you guys connected, I watched. So Devin, you did a video I saw that was like kind of the overview longer one. And then Ryan had a video, and then you also had a separate video. And I thought, I know this story, but I had not watched these videos. So I only know this story because I've heard of this story through other people and other channels, and maybe have heard you. I don't know if I've heard you touch on it in other live streams or how I knew, but I knew what the story was, but I didn't know as many details. And it was very heartwarming to me. And I'm sure this isn't the only time something like this has happened, but it's the only time something's happened that it was people that I know, I mean, obviously I don't know you, but I feel like I know you because we're in this YouTube world together. And so it just was so encouraging to me, and a reminder that, with all the negative, crummy stuff we hear on the news, and, if you go to an office where you might have complaining coworkers or bosses, it's so nice then to just have a feel-good story where things really turned out better than anybody could have expected. And that I enjoy that you guys have shared that part of yourselves, as well as what's happening up there with the property and stuff like that. So I'll start doing names first. So I know, Ryan, you're at work. What kind of work do you do when you're not up there tending to the property?
So I work for a computer software company. I work from home most of the time. I go into the office from time to time, but I run a sales team, and we sell software. So I've been here about 13 years.
Okay. And you have kids?
I do have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that keeps me busy.
Okay. And then Devin, when you're not tending to the property or trying to figure out StreamYard, what do you do work-wise?
I'm an energy broker, and I've been doing that for about 13 years. And I too have 2 kids. My son just started high school, and daughter just started middle school. So lots of changes going on this week. So it's a good time.
Okay. And what made you guys want to start a YouTube channel?
This guy.
Well, I mean, we both, most of our content we consume comes from YouTube. We both kind of stay away from the news just because of what you mentioned. But we thought it would be fun. We thought we learned so much from YouTube, so we thought it would be cool to document it. And really, we just talked a lot about how fun it'll be to go back and watch it one day. So if it grows, that'll be amazing and great. But selfishly, we really wanted it for documenting. But it's a game. It's a challenge. It's fun.
Yeah. And what was the first video that you uploaded to the channel?
I think it was when we closed on the property, right? Or what was it when we were searching for property?
We were searching for property. We were going to, I think, try out or look at the very first property that we were going to go look at. So we started from the ground floor while we were looking for the property.
And how long ago was that first video uploaded?
16 months or so.
Okay. Oh yeah. Then you guys. So yeah, I posted my first video in March of 2021. So you guys must be pretty close to that
about
same
the same
time range. Yeah. Okay. So tell me where things stand. I know you've had some projects going on the property. Has anything been finished? Like anything ready to harvest? Bathhouses ready to use? I mean, where do things stand project wise?
You asked a great question. So we have a lot of projects that haven't been finished.
Is anything finished? Yeah.
So we did get the front road done. We got the shipping container done, but nothing completed. We did plant a crop, which was great. Of course, it just happened to be right as this summer was kicking off. And actually the summer really slowed down our visits out there. I mean, just 100 degrees every day.
Yeah.
The only respite we have out there from the heat is just getting in the shade of a tree. There's no electricity out there. So everything really went on between that and actually the price of lumber, what happened to that earlier this year. Everything went for a pause, but now we're both just jazzed since we're getting a break from the heat and excited to get back at it.
And have you picked out, didn't I see a video or why am I thinking I've heard you talking about picking out fixtures and things for this bathhouse that you're building?
Yeah. So one bathhouse, we're actually doing two bathhouses. So we have two big platforms out there that we're going to be putting two very large bell tents on for the family. And we plan on, Ryan, I guess, putting that up in October and then leaving it up for, 6 months until it starts to warm up again. So we can start spending the night out there and getting more work done. So I'm going to have a bathhouse for my family and Ryan for his. I barely started mine and Ryan's in the planning stages of his.
Hey, Nina, I see you come in. I'm sure someone else has come in. I'll apologize already because I always miss it when somebody comes in. And so are you guys open to just sharing like the little Reader's Digest version of how you got together? Again, for those that don't know, hey, Barbara Jean, for those that don't know, these guys are brothers. These are full brothers, same parents, but they didn't know about each other for almost 30 years. And I'll just leave it at that. And then, again, if you guys can do just the little, maybe Ryan, if you want to, we'll start with you, Devin, because you were the one that sort of initiated things, submitting the paperwork so if you want to do a little couple minutes of your story, and then Ryan, you again can share with us just that beginning of learning about each other. I just think it's a fascinating and again, heartwarming story.
Yeah. So I was put up for adoption at birth and adopted by a wonderful family, yada, yada. So growing up, then when I turned 18, which at the time that was the youngest you could be until you could put your name on the registry to see if you could be reunited, you could find one of your parents. So I ordered the paperwork and then I just had life stuff going on. I sat on the paperwork. And then now 10 years later, when I'm 28, I'm unpacking in another state and come across the paperwork. So I'm like, all right, well, let's give it a shot. And I called them and said, is the paperwork still okay? And this is before the internet. So it took quite a while of, mail going back and forth. But I remember calling and saying, hey, did you get my stuff? And I'm at work, brand new job, new city. And the woman on the other line was like, yes. And there's a match. So now, it's awesome. And she goes, it's your father looking for you, which was amazing. And she goes, your parents ended up marrying each other several years after you were born. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. So I'm going to, now I'm thinking I'm going to be able to find both my parents, which, I didn't know what the odds were of that at the time. And then she's still going. She goes, and you have a full-blooded brother and sister. And I mean, it was just, so much more than I had ever entered into my realm of thinking. And it was awesome. And, I was almost 30 years old when I found out I had Ryan and my sister, our sister.
I know when I watched your video of that, I remember thinking if it was me, it would almost be a feeling like when you just barely miss being in a car wreck, just that adrenaline rush, everything turns out okay. So nothing bad happened, but just the flood of endorphins and emotions and stuff. I'm getting goosebumpy thinking about it. So that's how the things got started to connect you guys. And then obviously you made the connection at some point.
Yeah. So Ryan, you want to take it there? How you found out about me?
Yeah. I mean, Devin's story is the craziest because obviously until you have a conversation with someone or know someone that's adopted and get into a conversation with them, it's not something you just think about all the time. At least I didn't. And now that, I obviously know Devin, and just imagining what it was like for 30 years of your life to just always wonder and never know. And you're probably passing people on the street and looking at them and thinking, maybe that's, it'd be insane. And to probably not know, again, before the internet, not know of some of these amazing stories of people that have found their biological parents. So for him to find all of that out is just, it blows my mind, like what that must have really been like. It's just crazy. So from my perspective, I was like 16 at the time, and in high school, my mom, my sister, and I were living together, and essentially I got sat down at a table one night, all the lights off, like TV's off, like nothing's going on. Like we're about to have a serious conversation that I've never had before. And mom is like, you have a brother. And again, out of nowhere, like this was never on my radar. There were no hints, or I just wasn't smart enough to pick up on them. And so basically she's like, no, your father and I had him, and told me the story, and then just said, do you want to talk to him on the phone? And so that was crazy. So I said yes. And I think our sister went and called Devin. And then, so everyone in the family knew, by the way, I was the very last person to find out. And
Were you like a scary kid? Were they worried you were going to blow your top or something?
I think about different situations of my life growing up, and it makes me wonder if there's just something else going on that I don't know about with myself. But yeah, I think they were scared. And like Devin has always said that. He's always said that when he found out that I didn't know, it made him nervous. Like, oh, this is going to be the wrench in the spokes. And he said that ever since we've known each other, but I never thought about it until he made a video not long ago. He talked about it. And it made me, I was able to put myself in his shoes about what I would think also, like, oh, there's this young kid that doesn't know, and I'm going to come in, I'm like a competitor, whatever. His thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't have that.
But it didn't go like that, did it?
Not at all.
No.
I mean,
you were most concerned about what? When you first talked to him, what did you want to know?
Oh yeah, my first question, it's so ridiculous. I asked him if he had facial hair. It's like the first question, the brother I didn't know about. Like, so embarrassing.
Were you struggling, waiting for facial hair maybe at the time?
Oh yeah, still am.
That's why then you needed a hero to look up to. I'll love you, bro, if you've got facial hair.
I was 16. I was a bit of a late bloomer. I like the older girls. They didn't want anything to do with me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, cool. I have a brother. Am I going to have facial hair? That's what I really want to know.
Right. There's hope. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So tell me, what are your plans? Do you have ultimate plans, or are you just figuring it out as you go as far as the property?
Go ahead, Devin.
We're still talking about it. I mean, I think yesterday, Ryan's like, you're going to move out there earlier than you think you are. And I'm like, man, I know but we're still trying to work out what we're going to do long-term there. Are we going to have, two separate houses out there? Are we going to have two separate cabins? I don't know. We're still playing it by ear on that.
And do you have animals? Will you have animals out there?
We don't right now, but that's another thing that we just talk about all the time. We want cattle, we want chicken,
Okay. And have you done any of that before? Have you raised cattle or chickens or?
Ryan?
Well, so growing up, my grandparents had a farm, and they had cattle and chickens and ducks, and so I spent my summers out there. So not, I wouldn't say firsthand, as an adult, but kind of.
Yeah, and me growing up, I had spent a lot of time with my great grandparents, and they had chickens and cattle and horses. And then my wife, when I met her and we got married, I moved in to her property. She had a horse farm, so she's a big horse person, and of
Okay.
course, she wants to put horses out there, and
Okay. Okay. And is there a timeline you're looking at, though? I know you said you're thinking it might be earlier than you thought, but
it's years away before one of us moves out there.
okay.
So things are going great for the kids right now in school, in both cases. So it's going to be a while.
And how much property do you have?
Either 180 or 200.
Okay.
It depends if you ask the tax man or what we actually paid for. So.
Oh, that's how that works. Yeah. And do you have ponds? Are there ponds on the property or tanks?
Two little ones. Two little ones. No fish in them.
Are you going to put in a tank and do some fish, or?
That's probably the biggest line item that we have for the relative short term. But absolutely, when we purchased the property, they had surveyed some spots, and that was a big selling point for us. And then we had someone come out and give us a quote. We were like, well, push that down the line.
Thanks.
That was an eye opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have a lot to go on until you started looking, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm already thinking for you guys. I just have such fond memories of the kids' great grandparents. So their dad's parents, or their dad's parents, have had property in San Saba. A lot of acreage down there, stock tank. And they raised cattle for a long time. And it is just at the top of my list of favorite memories when we would spend time out there. The kids learned to fish out there. They learned about tending to cattle out there. I learned that I'm not supposed to get out of the truck while the guys are putting out bales of hay so that I can pet the giant bull that's beside the truck. That's my funny cow story. The guys had gone out to put out hay, and this bull comes walking over to the side of the truck. I'm sitting in the truck just waiting because that was just my job to ride along and watch things, I guess. When I couldn't help myself, I got out of the truck. And so this big bull is here. I'm here. The truck is here. And I'm just loving on this bull. I'm just rubbing on him and telling him how beautiful he is. And the guys come back toward the truck and say to me, they say, don't do anything fast, but you need to get back in the truck and stop petting the bull. And what did I know? So it never even occurred to me that it would just take one little leap. And I was back in that day, I was a little bitty tiny thing. And this bull had to be, 2,500 pounds. I mean, he was as big as the truck. We got in the truck, and I got a talking to from both of them about, you can't do that. All it would take is for him to move over a couple of inches, and you wouldn't be here anymore. And I thought, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you didn't see him. He was loving every second of that. He was just eating that up, and he knew I was just loving on him. So hopefully you guys will know more about cattle than I did when I first got around them.
I got a lot of those talking tos also because I was such a animal lover when I was younger. It got me in trouble. So I'm going to go, I don't know if you've ever noticed, like on any of the YouTube videos, someone commented about this one time, but I have a scar down the side of my head.
Sure enough.
You can see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
So I got in a little bit of trouble because I loved animals so much. And long story short, I went and approached and pet the wrong dog, and it jumped on me. Luckily, it was on a chain, and I was able to get out from underneath it. But when I guess I was 9 or so, had 16 staples in my head, and I got some puncture wounds in my arm. But I was that kid also. Every animal, I didn't care what it was. They
Wait,
loved it.
it was what kind of animal that left that decoration?
It was an Akita dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you were 9 and that scar is still like that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I think what happened was I think one tooth grabbed and kind of tore back because I have two puncture wounds in my arm also.
And whose dog was it?
So it was some random guy who was keeping his dog we lived across the street from the preacher, and he was keeping the dog for this guy. Well, then I had another set of friends that were mowing the preacher's grass, and they asked us to help pick up sticks and stuff. So we're doing that. And of course I go up, start petting it. I didn't know this dog had already bitten another kid too. It was not a very nice animal, but it could have been worse.
Do you have dogs now?
I do not.
No. Is it because of that?
You know, I love dogs, but it's crazy how I'm so, I hate to admit this, but I just get kind of nervous around them. And I was never that way. And yeah, I love dogs, but you give me an Akita in front of me and I'm gonna avoid it.
So you do or don't want me to bring the German Shepherds up again and let you meet them all on the camera?
Yeah, that's one of those things.
we have a new foster. Well, it's weird. So we boarded him last week without knowing that his family was looking to rehome him. They were going on vacation. They had just adopted him about 6 weeks prior, and their other dog absolutely will not get along with him. And they've had the other dog since she was 8 weeks old. So it just really was tearing him up that he was so miserable. He just hid all the time. And so they actually got our information through one of our rescue partners. We've done rescue work with Good Shepherd Rescue for a long time. And he said, oh, you need to call Kathy and Richard, see if they can watch him for you while you're gone. And no one told us that they were, deciding about giving him up. So he stayed here. He had the best time. He played with all the dogs and got along. And we always post videos of the dogs that are visiting on our Facebook page. And she would text me and say, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see him having so much fun. So she picked him up. Still, no one had mentioned that he needed to be rehomed. They picked him up. They thanked us profusely before they left. And then she sent me another text message that night and thanked me again and said, if you know of anyone that's looking for a dog, please let me know. So, because we need to rehome him. So I think the rescue partner may have known that, but they hadn't officially decided or whatever, because it ultimately was that he was going to come into Good Shepherd Rescue and be a foster dog for Good Shepherd Rescue. Someone was going to foster him while he was looking for a home. But when we learned that he needed a home, like Richard, the first thing he said was, then he just needs to come here. So technically we're just still fostering him, but part of that is because he hasn't met the cats yet. So we've got to see how it goes when he meets the cats, because obviously that's a big priority for us because we have a lot of cats. And we've been very fortunate. This breed typically does pretty well with them as long as you introduce properly. And we have a great big Maine Coon cat that does not realize he's a cat. We got him when he was about 3.5 weeks old, rescue kitten, had to syringe feed him every 3.5 hours. And so he slept with the dogs and they cleaned him and they played together. And so he's real comfortable around dogs, and he's the cat testing. Like we've even had other foster families bring their foster dog here just to meet Brutus, so that then they'll know if they can tell a prospective new family that the dog is cat friendly. But we just had 2 boarders go home this morning, and I didn't want to try with that many different dogs here to do a cat test, because I just thought it was, it could possibly skew the results to just have that much dog energy here. So do you have cats or turtles or snakes or anything?
Just kids.
Well, that's plenty then. And I know you guys have mentioned before that over time you've learned about the similarities and the things that you like and the way you see things. Does that mean, Devin, that you are equally as much a lover of animals?
Yeah, we recently lost our 2 dogs, so we're taking a break right now. But my daughter is really putting the pressure on to change that. So she loves every animal.
What kind of dogs were they?
We had a lab, and not a very intelligent lab, and then we had a Gordon Setter, not very intelligent Gordon Setter.
And
I've never,
how old?
I've only, excuse me?
Oh, I was just going to say, how old were they? Was it age related that?
Yeah, they were both up there. One my wife had when I met her, and we've been married 18 years. And the other one we
Wow.
got just shortly after we got married.
Okay.
So, but yeah, daughter's really, she's wanting something right now. We have a lot of dove around here, so she's making dove nests. So now we have all these doves in the backyard.
So you're raising an animal lover too.
Oh, she's full throttle.
Yeah. Well, I can hook you up with some great German Shepherds if you want a German Shepherd dog.
Nah, we'll see.
Or at least go to the Good Shepherd Rescue of Texas page and see what's out there.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Shepherds.
we lost two of our dogs too. We've been a 3 German Shepherd family for a long time, and lost our boy Bandit in November to a brain tumor. We had no idea. Symptoms came on really, really suddenly, and it was just past a point where, I mean, he could have maybe had surgery, but he was at least 10 years old. Coming into rescue, we just have to guess, unless they're newborn puppies. We just have to guess how old they are. And he was a foster dog of ours, our first foster failure. And so he was at least 10 years old. So who knows how long that may have been there and growing. So he crossed over in November. And then our boy Cooper didn't know, again, hemangiosarcoma. And it only presented because he slipped on the ice. That big ice storm we had, like at the end of February, he slipped on the ice in the backyard, and ultimately, apparently, it ruptured a tumor. So, but he was 13, and for a German Shepherd dog, that's up there. So he had a great long life, and even Bandit. I mean, they just had great lives here, and so it's hard because you don't think about in the beginning the day that they're going to have to leave. But I'll be excited for you when you have a video announcing that you have a new dog in the family.
Oh yeah.
And same thing here. I don't have too many sad tales about handling animals, but I can't seem to help myself. Whatever something is, if it'll be still long enough for me to touch it or hold it, or my oldest son is very much that way. And we had to have a rule when he was little, because he would come to me with bugs and creatures that I didn't even know what they were, even though I felt pretty knowledgeable about animals. And I, had to tell it. And this was just when he was like 2 and 3 years old, and he would just come running with something in his hand to show me what he had. And every now and then it would be something, and I didn't even know what it was. And so I had to teach him that he needed to come and get me. If it wasn't something that he had already shown me before, he needed to come and get me so that I could let him know if it was safe to handle it. And he's still really comfortable with animals. And I do have one story. We were tending to a neighbor's dogs probably 4 years ago or so, and their dog had been sick. So she'd been kind of cranky anyway. She was having a lot of gastrointestinal problems. And so I had gone over in the evening to let them out and give her medicine. And I bent down to hand her a piece of chicken that had her medicine in it. And I don't know what she thought I was doing. And she bit me right there on the lip. And it was just bizarre how fast it happened. And so right at first, I didn't even realize that there was an injury. But then I start feeling the blood coming out of my lip. And so I called Richard. He stayed here because they just live right across the street. I mean, literally, I walk across the street. And I called and said, I need you to come and help me. Mate just bit me. So he came over. We got some ice out of their fridge, and it turned out okay. But I'll just have a scar now forever. But that's the only time I think, as much as I've been around dogs and handled dogs and loved on people's dogs, it's the first time I've ever been bitten. But again, I think she was not feeling well, and I don't think she realized I was putting down food for her to give her medicine. I think because her bowl was near, maybe she thought I was going to take food away from her, which just seems like a rookie mistake for me to have made. But we had tended to him several times, and I'd never seen anything that made me worry that, something would happen. So I think just her physical ailments at that time were just really, really making her be on edge. So, but it didn't make me, fortunately for me, it hasn't made me wary of dogs. And again, I grew up with these big German Shepherd dogs. So I know a lot of times we take them out someplace and you can tell people are just terrified because of their size. So, all right. So tell me now, what do you want to see happen? Like, do you ever sit down and think, wouldn't it be neat if that has to do with your channel? And if you haven't sat down and had that conversation together, y'all can just individually tell me if you had to think of, wouldn't it be neat if this happened with our channel? What would that be?
With the YouTube side of it, it's funny. I'm not I don't know. I want to say that I don't have a specific target, even though I'm looking at the numbers constantly, because I'm like you, I'm a numbers person. It's something I can easily quantify. How am I doing? And gauge how we're doing. But right now, that what we've just been talking about, and all I've been thinking about, is just what we're going to be doing on the property itself, and then hopefully YouTube will carry along. But we're excited to finally, with the break in the weather, finally be able to get some good content back out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think the 1,000 subscriber milestone is always kind of, we all probably have that target. So, but I mean, I'm shocked that we have as many as we do right now. So, but yeah, I'm excited to be able to show things that are going to help people. Like Devin recently put something out about the lights in the shipping container, and I like that because it's entertaining. I think Devin does a great job, but it's also can help people. So, a lot of what we've put out so far is us just figuring things out. Don't come to us for advice, So it'll be cool to put stuff that will help people.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm sometimes puzzled when I come across a channel that has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and that's all they do. That's all you log in, you look at a video, and it's just, okay, we're having waffles for breakfast this morning, and then we're going to go out and water the flowers in the backyard. And I think there's a lot to be said for offering content that just takes people away from the garbage. Go someplace where it's a little bit of an escape. You guys are doing something that I can't do. I don't have a big property where we can build things, and we're kind of maxed out on animals now, even, so I can't add too many more animals. And so it's just a little escape, a little way to just live vicariously through what's happening there. So don't underestimate the power that can have and the blessing that can still be to people, even if you feel like there's not really a lot happening. It's still a little bit of an escape. And as you build your channel up, you're going to have supporters that are just going to be celebrating right along with you when you pick out your fixtures, or when you finally get, the first house going up for whichever one of you is going to be there soonest. And I've just seen it happen on other channels where that's how it started out in the beginning. It's just, you're just sort of following along for the ride. There's not a big clear plan, it's all about how to make pastries or whatever. Y'all could do that. Y'all could do a video on baking something, or especially if you haven't done it, that would really make it funny. In fact, maybe that's what you can do. Pick something that you haven't done and try it together, and let us all laugh along with you as you figure it out. Because your personalities, I try to say it every Friday when I do my show. People will watch your content and follow and support your channel if they like you, even if they don't really like your content. Again, I never say it because it has to do with the actual content of the person to whom I'm saying it, or about whom I'm saying it. And I know I have channels. I just like that channel because I like the person. I don't care anything about, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a topic that, mechanics or something. Like, it's not anything that I can do anything with, but I like that person. I like their personality. I like the way they present the information. They come across as very real. And that's what you guys have. That's, I think, a lot of what I look for is I want to feel like if I met these people in real life, I would experience what I feel when I watch. That it wouldn't be like a Hollywood person, and you see them in the movie and then you see them at the grocery store. They don't even look the same. It wouldn't be that. Nothing against that, but I just need it to be more real for me. So don't underestimate that the people that enjoy you and want to follow and support you, we don't even care what it is you're sharing. Just share it, because it's a nice escape from just, again, the unpleasantness. And there's plenty of that even on YouTube. I don't know how some of these channels that don't share anything that I get anything out of, and they just, man, people just subscribing and logging on and watching those videos. And I think, oh my gosh, this shouldn't even be on YouTube. Why is this even allowed here? So
we are going to actually do a cooking video. That may be our next video up. We're going out there next week, and we're cooking over that fire pit that we just made.
Yes.
So I think that was our last video, was a fire pit. So
Okay,
now we're going to cook over it. And one thing that Ryan and I, once again, are very alike, is that if we screw something up, we don't try to hide it. I mean, hey, we screwed it up, and that's what we are, and we just get a kick out of it. I mean, a lot of our videos, we have little, before we fall.
And there will be people that'll learn from that. Why make somebody else reinvent the wheel? If you goof up on something that another person might be attempting at some point, then at least let them know. Yeah, I think you might have at least one other video since the fire pit one, because when I started posting your videos, I was going to do your most recent 5 videos. And then the day after I posted that one, then there was another one. And I thought, no, I'm just going to keep working my way backwards. I'm going to go from that one and then go to the next oldest and the next oldest and the next oldest, or I might not be able to keep up with, with what you're posting. So I don't remember what
video, you're right. That was the lights. I don't
remember what it is, but
it was the shipping container lights. And
yeah.
I discussed how
okay. Yeah. So there's a new video on their channel since the one I first posted on Sunday. So you guys have more content to check out. But do you have a posting schedule or a goal for how frequently you want to post?
We have a goal of at least, one video every week, but you know how it is. It's tough to stick to sometimes. But we think it'll be a lot. That's another reason we're just excited for the cooler weather, because we'll be able to make just so much more content.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what's fun, too, about what you're doing is a lot of the content sort of creates itself for you. You just got to have your camera ready. I feel like animals. Yeah. And once you get animals, I mean, animals are, 85% of our channel. So I just have to be ready to film stuff, because they don't perform on cue. I have to see it and be ready to capture it. Or, I mean, not always. I have some other compilation stuff where, maybe not a whole lot's happening, but I'll stitch it all together and tell a story with it. But again, I'm excited that you guys were both able to be here today. I think when I first corresponded with him, he didn't know for sure if you would even be able to take some time away. And tell me about what's the plan for your live streams? Because I've missed both. Have you only done the 2? Have you only done 2 live streams? Okay, well, I missed both. I mean, I watched them after the fact, but I'd love to be able to watch them live and actually participate in the chat, and enjoy the fellowship with everybody while it's happening. So do you have a plan or a set day or time that you want to go live, or is that still up in the air?
Well, those were both tests and practice runs, and they both had issues. So I'm glad that we were just, they were short. But no, we're still getting past the technical difficulties. I don't know if we'll ever have a set time. We did talk about when we're building some of these larger projects to put up a camera just and live stream that and see if it actually works. We don't know what kind of reception we're going to get, internet connection out there. So we got to see how that's going to roll.
I know we use those Eros Wi-Fi booster things. We've got one out in the duck pen. I think we've got one in the barn. And so we only have 2 acres, so nothing is real far away. We can't. They don't reach out to the pond on the back acre, so we would have to go to mobile data. If I'm trying to live out there, but
that's what we're going to have to be doing.
Yeah. So if you've got, maybe set up some little stations and have some little Wi-Fi extenders. I mean, you can't do the whole property that way, I don't guess. But So how involved are the kids in getting things set up on the property?
Mine are incapable of paying attention at this point. So, they've been in a couple of videos, but the 2-year-old and 5-year-old, my boy just wants to pick stuff up and throw it. So Devin's kids are definitely more into it.
Yeah, Austin's really leaning on me. Let's go. Let's get the lumber. Let's get this deck going. So he's dying to get back out there. And then my daughter, when she's out, and he also likes working on the trees. He's pretty proficient with the chainsaw. My daughter, when she's out there, she really just wants to shoot the guns. That's her big thing.
Uh-huh. There's a video.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get anybody angry.
And sawing. Although I don't. Do you guys, are you familiar with Eric and Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch?
For sure.
So she's been telling this story about them having a video taken down. YouTube took down, like deleted a video because their 13-year-old was driving the tractor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it goes against their policies about child safety. It's some kind of ridiculous, like obviously none of them are farm people. Maybe none of them have children. I don't know. They took it down. So as I'm saying, there's a video shooting and sawing. Who knows? Somebody might look and realize that those aren't 30-year-old people and give you grief over it. So
yeah, I sure want to stay on the good graces of the YouTube folks.
Yeah. Knock on wood. We haven't had anything taken down. I don't set any of my stuff up as, there's that button you can push that it's made for kids. None of mine is set to made for kids, but I don't know what that really does for you. I think that nobody can comment on a video, I think, if you set it for made for kids, but I think all of our stuff is kid friendly, family friendly, but I just somewhere, I think along the way heard that can cause you trouble if you've got something set as made for kids. And then, I don't know. And then it's got, I don't know what it might have in it, but they just seem to look for reasons to give us a hard time sometimes.
For sure.
Okay. I'm looking at the chat right quick. See if we can get us caught up. So hi, Dancing Alone with Rentals. I guess that W is for with rentals. And one comment here, I watch a lot of mechanics. I get a kick out of how they walk and their knuckles drag. At the same time, I'm fascinated with their technical knowledge. Again, if I like the person and they present it, in an enjoyable way, then I'm all for it. And then again, I film cats, goofball, lazy cats. I can clean my camera, change the battery, swap out the SD card, and those slots will have barely moved. Yeah, cats are pretty... in fact, you just look at like any of these shorts cats can get you lots of views. I have one short, it's like 16 seconds long, and it's just clips of one of our cats jumping, just being silly. They'll see something on the floor and then they're like practicing. If they were in the wild, they're practicing jumping to catch stuff. And that's all she's doing. And it's like 16 seconds of that. And it got like 1,200 views in 24 hours. Just that. And that's only because I didn't have a video planned to upload for that day. But I like to post something every day. And our channel really seemed to grow faster once I started, posting every day. I just saw your note, Ryan. So I get it if you've got to move on to some other things. Thank you for being here. Thanks for giving up whatever you had to give up in the office today so that you can come and hang out with us.
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm sorry I have to hop off.
Oh, no, that's okay. And I'll be wrapping it up here in just a little bit anyway. So that's actually perfect timing. But I wanted, if you're new to these guys, again, this is Our New Land. Please check out their channel. I wanted to introduce y'all. You may know most of these people in the chat already, but these people can then go on and share you and your story with other people that none of us know yet. And that's how we grow. That's how we help each other grow. It's just putting names out there, sharing stories, and getting you some good, healthy exposure that's going to get your message out to the world. And it's nice to look in your comments when you post a video, when you're working on a project, and get encouragement and support or tips. People may see something, or you may pose a question in your video because you don't know how to handle something or what a workaround might be. And people will come in and offer advice and guidance in your comments. So there's another reason to just share whatever's happening out there, because if you get stumped on something, someone else will have already been wherever you are, and if they can see that video and have an opportunity to give you some information, then maybe they'll keep you from having to bang your head against the wall.
That's true.
Too many times.
Thank you. No, I'm glad we got to meet there's a lot of people in here that I haven't met before, so I really appreciate that.
Oh, good. Oh, I see Weaves World is here. Hey, Weaves World. Weaves World, another great channel supporter. So don't be surprised if you just suddenly find yourselves in a video where he's giving you a shout out. You may not even realize that he knows who you are. And then all of a sudden you'll realize, oh my gosh, look at that. He made us a video. He made us an amazing video that we didn't ask for it. I didn't know it was coming. And I'm just still blown away. It turned out great. And it means a lot to me to see the kind of support that we get in this community. There's Danny. Hey, there's Danny Days. So yes, this was Devin and Ryan from Our New Land on the show today. You guys will be on my spreadsheet from now on. So when I do my Friday lives, we'll do updates to see how you're growing. Again, what were you at? 441? I've already closed that page.
Yeah, that's right. 441.
So 500 is right around the corner. And numbers tell us a lot. They can tell us a lot. I know some people don't, I don't want to say they don't care about the numbers, but I know some people, it doesn't have the same impact for them that it might have for some of us, but it really is. Yeah. It's the way to kind of quantify just what's happening. And to me, it really is a measure of the input versus the output. I know it doesn't always
community
match
tab.
up. Yeah,
So
I think you guys
good,
you guys will have fun with that. And I know, you've probably seen it too. There'll be times when I'll feel like I've just spent weeks on a single video or had to redo it so many times. And then I'm so proud and I just think it turned out so good. It's just what I wanted. And it only gets 12 views. So
Yes,
I just have to remind myself that, it's not necessarily a reflection of me somehow. It's just hit and miss sometimes what people are really going to enjoy. So that's why you just got to share all that's happening. But again, what you've got going for you is that you guys, just as guys, no channel even involved, are just fun people. There's a good positive energy there. Your voice is amazing. So
thank you.
Yeah. So just keep sharing.
Well, thanks. It's been a great time.
Okay. First Floor Audio, also close to 500 subscribers. I will be sending you an email, Lee, because my goal has been to try and find channels that are under 500 and see if we can't introduce them to some more people. Jesse and Lisa from Lazy Days Ahead will be my guests next Friday on the channel. Now they're over 500. They're close to 1,000, but Jesse is the mod father. For those of you who don't know, you will rarely, if ever, not, am I saying that right? You'll rarely, if ever, not see Jesse moderating in someone's chat. Did that come out right, or was that double negatives? You'll rarely,
great.
if ever, not see. You will most likely see Jesse moderating in someone's chat. He's good at it. He's dependable. He gives everybody equal attention as far as sharing links and information on, what's happening in their channel, and just keeps everybody updated. So yeah, he's very funny. He's very generous in lots of ways. So in spite of the fact that they're over 500, it's time for me to have them on the show, because that 1,000 is looming very near and they need to be able to hit that mark. There's no reason for them to not be at that mark already. They share a lot of great content. And again, he's just everywhere all at one time, helping, teaching, supporting. And I want you guys to get to spend some time with him. So next week he will be my featured guest. And then, First Floor Audio, I'll send you an email, Lee, because wow, I hope there's like a live tonight, Lee. I can't remember now what night it is you do live streams, but you guys go hang out with him, because you'll get some good music therapy out of him. He's amazing. But so back to Devin. All right, you've got my number. I may send you a text message at some point, and let's see if maybe we can pick a place and get together in real life. I'd
That'd be
love to
great.
meet you guys in real life and add you to my little list of serendipitous YouTube connections that have happened with people that live close enough for us to get together.
No, definitely.
But
We'll make it happen. That's great.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
before we go, anyone have questions for, well, Devin? Ryan's not here, but I'm sure we could relay something to Ryan if you had a question specifically for him or their channel. Anybody have any questions for them? As always, does anyone have questions for me? I did want to share with y'all before I go that I know when I shared with you last week, I was watching my subscriber count because we had been at 1,499 subscribers for almost 24 hours as of the time of last Friday's live stream. So over the course of like the next 2 days, that did go up. So let me show you where it went. Yeah, we'll look at this. So we're at 1,530 now.
Right.
And again, it's gone up and down a couple times. We went to 1,502 and then it went back down to 1,497 and then it went up to 1,510 or whatever. So you can see, well, there's the little jaggedy line. So yeah, you can see how it goes up and down and up and down. And again, a lot of times that's just YouTube paying attention to someone that they're going to subscribe just because, you know, somebody in a chat said, hey, go subscribe to their channel. And then they don't watch any videos. So YouTube says, oh, that's either a bot or it's just not a legitimate subscriber. So thank you to anyone who, for whatever reason, learned about us and gave us a chance and maybe checked out a video or two and joined our little family there. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. So for those of you that are monetized already, you'll know how it works. For those of you that aren't monetized already, don't think that getting monetized means you're suddenly going to be able to quit your day job, because I think unless you are a 1 million subscriber channel and you've got, 10 million views, it really is just pennies per view. I think right now my per 1,000, this is how this works. So this little number, let me get back to my share screen right quick. This number here, well, there it is. Okay. So this number here, this $17.38, right now, that is my average earnings per every 1,000 views. So I would have to have 1,000 views to earn $17.38. What's really interesting about that, though, is, and this number's gone down a lot, but let me see if I can find the video that just blew my mind. This video. So when I first posted this video, and the numbers change because as YouTube and the advertisers see what kind of, how many viewers you're going to get or how many views you're going to get out of it, then it changes. It's a supply and demand sort of concept. So videos that really take off, then the advertisers want to get their ad on your view. But this I just thought was really interesting because when this video first was published, this number here was like $290 something. So I think part of it has to do with the content itself. The duck and goose stuff, obviously, on our channel is a very integral part of what we offer because we try to teach people how to raise waterfowl. And so I looked at this and thought, oh my gosh, it was almost $300 that I could have made per 1,000 views if whatever the algorithm was seeing initially had really been how it goes. But it hasn't had, let's see, it's had 44 views. So that number's come down some, but as long as I'd be happy with $93 for 1,000 views off this one video. I'm not going to complain. But as it stands now, my average just as a channel is that $17.38 that I could get for 1,000 views. So you'll never get rich off of it. And this is just, I have this defaulted to that last 28 days. So in the last 28 days, we've made just over $43. Since we became monetized, which was on the 4th of July, We've only made $71. Now, I haven't been paid yet. You got to make at least $100 before they'll send you anything. And I'm still waiting they send you a pin. They mail you a pin because it's part of their verification process that you prove you really live at the address that's associated with the name of the person on the account. You got to send in a copy of your driver's license, all of that. And I never got my pin that first time. So I requested it again, and I'm just waiting for that pin to come. But at this rate, obviously, it'll be 90 days probably before we hit that $100 mark. But that's a few bags of duck food. So that's how I'm looking at it. If I can ultimately cover the bill for feeding the ducks with what we make off the channel, then it's a win for me.
That's great.
Hey, just to get...
Jesse had a question for me.
Okay.
I asked if I was doing anything else if we're doing anything else with the shipping container. We are going to put a roof over it, which I'm dying to do so that we can start collecting the rainwater. And with the rainwater, then we can have, we already have a small solar. We need a bigger solar system out there as well. But then with the rainwater and a larger solar system, we can have some irrigation to start working on our garden out there and have it irrigated when we're not there.
Yeah, this year's been so brutal. This dry spell, golly. You have buckwheat growing out there now?
Well, we did have buckwheat growing out there. Now it's all crunchy. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and is it typically can it typically tolerate drier conditions? I don't know anything about buckwheat.
Yes, but not to the degree that we had. We had 72 days without rain out there. And
I don't think anything could go that long, but at least it wasn't a crop that, within the 2 weeks it was already gone because of the
for sure.
Dry conditions. And I see also Tiffany at Mud and Mascara said she's going to put a shout out for you guys on her Facebook page. She doesn't have a community tab yet.
Tiffany's great.
Again, this is one reason these community tabs, we can do so much good with them. Obviously, you can share stuff about your channel, but people really do look to that. And again, when they like you and they like your channel, they're going to be more inclined. It's just like when you get Jennifer Garner, doing Capital One ads on the TV. Who doesn't love Jennifer Garner? So, I want a Capital One card because I like Jennifer Garner. That's how this works. It's all in the marketing. And so when you build a base of followers that like you and like what you do, they're going to take your recommendations more seriously, and they'll check out the channels that you suggest. So, so let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss another question. Oh, and it looks like Jesse posted something about an internet service. Maybe that's a funny thing.
Helpful. We need to look into that.
So maybe check that out and see. And those of you that have asked before about me setting it for the comments to show after the video, it does take about 24 hours for those comments to show up. So I do have it set for the chat replay, but as the video is processing, once we close the stream, it just takes a little while for it to generate all of those comments. So let's make sure no more questions. Oh no, I see Danny just had a mishap with an accidentally deleted video.
Yeah, man, I would have had a hard time with that.
Golly, that hurts when you've put. Well, fortunately, I feel like for me, anything that I've uploaded, I've got it. I keep it on the computer until it's gone public on the channel. Because I typically upload, I'll have 2 weeks worth of videos already uploaded for almost every day already. But I still leave them on my hard drive on the computer just in case something happens, so that I've still got them. Then once they're public and people have seen them, then I'll get rid of them off of my computer to free up some space. But let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, y'all hit that like button. Who did I just see said something about that? Dancing Alone, yes. So please hit the like button. That's another thing YouTube really does look at. It's a simple thing. Obviously, if you don't like what you see, you don't have to like it. But I like it that you're here, and it does make a difference when they can see that people are engaging and clicking like buttons and making comments, and then watching again once it's not live anymore. That's important too about lives, because if I understand correctly, there's no watch hour credit for while the stream is happening, but afterward, as people run the stream. So I always go back and watch people's lives, even after I just went. Yeah, even after I just went through the whole live with them and commented and maybe even got up on the screen with them if they shared the link. I go back and watch it later. But that's part of how people can earn so many watch hours with lives, is because, then hopefully your people that missed it when it was really happening will be forced to watch it after the fact, and you get some hours. Scratch and Pete is here. Thank you, Scratch and Pete. Another person I would love to meet in real life, but I think geography is going to be a little bit more challenging for that because he's pretty far from RichKatRanch. And okay, you did hear ducks. We raise ducks and geese here. I teach people what I believe is the proper way to feed them and house them and care for them and bond with them. And believe it or not, y'all, ducks can live 30 years or more if they have the right conditions, the right diet, and the right conditions. I didn't know that when we first started, out with our flock, and we've lost some ducks along the way because I didn't know. And a lot of what I've learned, I've just learned the hard way because we didn't do it the proper way. Our oldest girl right now is almost 7. And the geese, again, can live just as long. They're maybe a little hardier than the ducks. So I don't know that it's quite as tricky to provide for them the same way. But I have videos on everything, again, from nutrition and predator-proof housing to first aid for ducks. If you don't remember anything else I say, never let your vet give your ducks antibiotics. That'll make it worse faster than doing nothing. Ducks need, believe it or not, a high bacterial load in their bodies to heal. So that's maybe something you didn't know before today.
I didn't know that.
Again, I've got some videos on that, and I do some little demonstrations, some little how-tos for some common problems you might encounter with your flock that require some quick first aid on your part. And I'm always happy to answer questions or offer guidance if somebody's interested in getting started with a flock. So let's see. I think that's going to do it for today. Do you have questions for me, Devin, or for anyone in the chat, or anything?
No, but I'm looking forward. I want to bring my daughter out to your place. I think she would love all the animals you have out there.
Oh yeah, and Cabo will be thrilled if it means he gets more carrots.
No, that's great.
He's very, very food motivated for a horse.
Well, good.
Okay, yeah. All right. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer duck questions. If you guys get ready to add ducks to your property, Devin, I'm happy to come up and help you get that set up. Richard I helped him, but Richard built our pen. It's a custom pen. It's about, I guess, 150, 170 square feet. We've got 2 rooms in it. So I have one room that can be closed off. There's a little pass-through that usually stays open. But if we're brooding babies, or I've got boys that are being too rough with the girls at night, or a duck is sick or hurt and is convalescing, I can close that room off and we can use it, temporarily for that. But for the most part, they just all mix and match overnight. There's a separate little coop attached on one side. The girls do like to go in there when they're feeling broody and make nests. And we've got a couple of dog crates in there that the girls also like to nest in. And so I think, and they have a chandelier. There's a chandelier hanging in the duck pen. So
that's great.
So I had fun with that too. So yeah, we're in South Lake, Texas, near Fort Worth. Jesse's putting in a request. Okay. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you to everyone that's here today. I wonder if I'm ever going to, hopefully I'll never have a Friday where no one shows up. But I'm always tickled. I get on and people really show up. And I know I've seen you guys make those comments when you've done your little tests. But yeah. I just think this is so much more real. This is so much more real than just watching the video when it's live and you can interact with people as it's happening. And I just appreciate you for taking time to be my guest today.
No, thank you for having us. That's really, really kind of you.
Yeah. Well, again, my goal is going to be to get everybody together again next Friday. We're going to look at numbers again and see how much closer you guys are to 500. Hey, it won't hurt my feelings if you guys want to help them get over 500. because we all know you can hit that mark and then the next day 6 subscribers have been taken away for whatever reason. So if you're not already subscribed to Devin and Ryan at Our New Land, please go. Again, always watch a video of at least 3 minutes before you subscribe so that subscription will stick, because it's like a given that if you just go in and subscribe and you mean to go back later and watch a video the next day, you may not still be subscribed the next day. So we'll save everybody the disappointment of being excited about a number only to find it fall by just playing by the YouTube rules so that everything will go the way it needs to go. But again, this was a treat for me. I'll be excited for us to get together and meet live and in person. And please tell Ryan for me again too that I appreciate him taking time out of the workday to spend some time with us. I just
happy to be
love
here.
You guys. I love your story, love your channel, and I'm just going to be excited to watch the numbers go up because I know you guys can do some really neat stuff with what you offer.
Thank you. Really appreciate that very much.
All right. So I'm going to let you go. You guys reach out to Devin if you've got more questions or and yeah, Lee at First Floor Audio. I'm sure your link has been posted. If not, if Jesse can get your link posted right quick, y'all check out his channel. He'll have a live concert tomorrow night. So he shares his music with us. And you'll be surprised if you've not seen it. I think I first heard his music, Akashi at Mindfort. He closed. He was on her live one time and closed. And I thought, oh, wow, that's not what I thought this was. I thought maybe he was, I don't know, First Floor Audio. I thought maybe he like installs stereos in cars or something. I didn't know what that was. And so it didn't click with me. But now I look forward to just spending time with him because y'all, you're like at a concert and it's a very relaxing, for me, it's very therapeutic because that's what music does for me anyway. But love to everyone from RichKatRanch. Be blessed, stay safe, stay cool. I hope if you're still needing rain that you get rain. We are getting some cooler temperatures here. So things are about to turn around a little bit for us. And again, leave me comments in a video or send me an email if you've got questions about your flock, about ducks and geese, and I am happy to share what information I have collected over the years. Anyway, take care, Devin. I'll sign you out now, and I'll again be watching your channel to see how things go till we all meet again next Friday. All right. Again, thank you to everyone that set aside a little time to hang out with me today. That means a lot to me. I enjoy this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope that I did figure out the camera thing as I already closed that page. I was going to say, as I was looking on the live stream over on the other desktop, it seemed like it might have gotten a little clearer for a little while, but right now I'm looking again, it seems kind of grainy. So I'll see if I can figure everything out. Okay. That's Lee's studio name, First Floor Audio. That's his studio name where he does his recording. So y'all, like, he's a real artist. I mean, yeah, he's not just a musician. He's an artist. He's a songwriter. He's a pianist and a guitarist and a singer. And so check him out. All of you, if you have not visited each other's channels, make it a point to do that this weekend, or at least pick 2 or 3 people from the chat today. Write their names down. Go to their channels. Open up your experience to something that maybe you wouldn't have thought to look for, or a channel that you might not have thought to visit before you came across them in the chat today. Because that's just a real, again, it's serendipity. You know, there's just a lot of unexpected surprises that can happen just by us hanging out together in these chats. So again, thanks again. Love to everybody. And we will see you all next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. Bye.